I shot the gun twice, and the second time he said I shot him. I couldn't see anything. All I could see was blood.
We saw the crime scene. What you're saying, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
You were watching Cheryl Coe, a woman desperately trying to pretend that she just accidentally shot her own husband. But the harder she tries,
we didn't know what was going on.
the more suspicious she looks. And right now, Cheryl has no idea that with every single clue that she's left behind, detectives are on her trail, and getting away with murder won't be as easy as she thinks.
She had about 5 or 6 beers sitting on the back porch. She was scared her, so she grabbed the gun and shot. And it doesn't explain anything. It makes no sense to me.
He's my best friend. He's all I have, and I never meant to do that.
On the evening of June 23, 2021, at 7:26 p.m., dispatchers at the Coweta County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call from Cheryl Howell Coe, who told the dispatcher that her husband, Luther Luke Lee Coe III, had been shot after a gun accidentally went off in her hands at their home in Tommy Lee Cook Road in Noonan. But when deputies arrived, the scene told a very different story.
Move away from me, please.
This is pasteurized
Please don't hurry. He needs a tester.
You got a crime scene log.
Negative.
What about the tape?
Yeah. Negative.
He needs a tester, but it's left log. Well, it's sliced in there. It didn't go through.
We're going to go in here and sit down, okay? Yeah.
Oh, God.
We're going to go in here and sit down, okay?
Hey, buddy. Hey.
Deputies found Luke lying on the master bedroom floor with a gunshot wound under his left arm. He was rushed for emergency treatment, but sadly he didn't survive. Near the bed, deputies recovered a 9mm pistol with no serial number, the weapon used in the shooting. But that wasn't what troubled deputies the most. When Luke's body was sent for autopsy, the results raised serious questions. The fatal bullet was lodged in his left armpit at a slightly downward angle, and there was a clear muzzle imprint on his skin, meaning the gun had been pressed directly against his body when it was fired. And it wasn't just one shot. 2 rounds had been fired, though only one struck Luke. And detectives immediately had a lead. According to friends and family, Cheryl and Luke had been in an open marriage since 2018, but it wasn't always smooth sailing. Tensions that had been building for years finally boiled over that day, leading to another huge argument and ultimately Luke's death. The dispute upset Cheryl, and as a result she ended up drinking hard cider and taking Klonopin, and to make matters worse, she reacted hysterically.
Let's get her out of here. Ma'am. Get her, man. Let's get her out of here, bud. Hey, buddy. Hey. We ain't got no tape, man.
Here, ma'am, come out here, okay? Listen. If you can't get further, you just have a seat right here. Have a seat. He's in good hands now, okay?
I think it's gonna be best to get. You want to get her out here?
Oh my God! Why are they all out here? Why are they all out here?
I'm here with you. Hold on. Hey.
Come in with me.
No, we can't go in. We can't go in.
Why are they all
We
out
cannot
here?
go in. We can't go in, okay?
Oh God, please!
Why don't you just have a seat over here? Just have a seat.
Oh Please. Why are they all here?
No.
What?
No.
What?
No.
Why are they
Come
all
on.
here? Where is he?
You want a chair? You want a
Where
chair?
is he?
What?
Where is he?
Pretending to cry without shedding a single tear isn't exactly convincing, and the deputies notice that immediately. So they decide it's time to question her directly, because whatever happened inside that house clearly doesn't match the story she was trying to sell. The deputies then decide to question her, and that interrogation will reveal just how effortless Cheryl could cover up a killing.
Yep.
My name's Gary, okay? I'm with the coroner's office, okay? And this is Shauna. She's with the sheriff's office. Listen to me, hon. You need to listen to me. Sit up. We know what's going on already, okay? So, tell me, is your name Cheryl Coe?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you, Cheryl?
51.
51? Okay. And your husband inside, right? Okay. Tell me what happened this evening. Just start with where were you before you saw him?
I came home from work.
About what time?
It was like 5:30, something like that, because I had to go make some stops in Newnan.
Uh-huh.
He was out in the shop. His son was here. They were out working on his panhead.
Where you work, Cheryl?
Piedmont Fayette.
Huh?
Piedmont Fayette.
Piedmont Fayette.
What do you do there?
I'm a patient access team lead now. I've been there for 27 years.
So you got home about 5:30, right?
I got home
He
about
was in the
5:30.
shop.
He was in the shop.
Okay. And then what happened?
And I have not really talked since yesterday.
Were y'all fighting?
We had a disagreement.
Okay.
He came home while I was on the porch yesterday, took his bike and loaded off and went away. And he didn't come home till sometime after midnight. I don't know when.
Last night.
And I had my gun on the nightstand because I was here by myself. Both the kids have moved out, and I'm here by myself. And I don't even know if we have a key to these doors. He doesn't believe in locking doors. And
You don't keep the store locked at all?
no, not at all. He said he doesn't believe in it. So I don't even know where the keys are. I don't even know if we have a key to the
Okay.
house. We just got the house back from his ex-wife 2.5 years ago. Not even 2.5 years ago. I'm sorry. I have dry mouth syndrome, and
Right.
my lips are sticking to my
You
teeth.
need a glass of water or something?
Please. Please. So we were going to talk tonight. But he
Tell me,
stayed out in the
what
shop.
were y'all disagreeing about?
We were disagreeing about something yesterday that had occurred, that has occurred before.
What? Some with somebody else? Somebody else involved?
Not particularly.
Okay.
So we hadn't talked. We didn't
Alright.
talk. He was asleep this morning when I left for work.
Were y'all in the same bed or separate rooms?
We were in the same bed.
Okay. And you left at 6 this morning?
I left at 6:30 this morning.
Cheryl and Luke had been together for 6 years and married for 4. Both had children from previous relationships, but only Luke's son, Levi Coe, lived with them in the same house. On the evening of the murder, Levi had left home at around 6:30 p.m., and just after an hour, Luke was shot dead. On the other hand, the argument Cheryl is talking about goes back to their open marriage, which started in 2018. Luke was the one who first suggested it, all because he couldn't actually keep up with Cheryl's drive after her menopause, which she goes into in more detail when cops eventually brought her in for an interrogation.
Earlier, when we were talking about what you had mentioned, and I don't even know how they did, so I usually try to choose my words so diplomatically, but I'm just going to try to recount it as best I can. Earlier, we were talking about that you had gone through menopause and that you finally gotten your hormones regulated, and that he was having some issues of his own too. What were those issues?
My drive became more. That I guess what he felt like he could keep up with.
Okay.
So.
And did he ever have any issues with, like, obtaining or maintaining?
Oh, when he's been drinking too much.
How often do you drink?
During the summer, we drank a little bit more, because we would just get in the pool and, have our time together in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't that much. And just recently, it had gotten to be that way. He was talking about not doing that anymore because he did things he shouldn't when he was drinking, said things he shouldn't when he was drinking, and that he was gonna cut back on that and not, he was figuring out how many shots he could have or how many ounces he could have so he wouldn't be that.
But the real insight doesn't come from her interrogation. It comes from the officer's body cam at the scene. So we pick up right where the detectives are digging into their lifestyle, because breaking the rules in their relationship is what actually sparked the tension.
What time did you go to bed?
Probably about 6:30, 7 o'clock is when I got in bed. I probably took the medicine about 6:30 because I brushed my teeth. I took my medicine and I brushed my teeth. And then I got in bed.
What kind of medicine did you take?
I take Klonopin, and I took a Finnegan, and
What are you taking?
the Finnegan I take for my migraines, and I took my progesterone, which is my hormones.
What do you take the Klonopin for?
The Klonopin I take because I can't sleep through the night, and it helps me go to sleep. I can't turn my brain off, so it helps me go to sleep. I took that, and I got into bed, and I turned the TV on because I was in there by myself, and when I'm by myself, I feel better with the TV on. He was still out here. I fell asleep, and then I heard somebody come in the door yelling, and I just reached over on my nightstand and grabbed my gun because that was the only thing I needed to do.
You know what time that was?
I have no idea.
So you grabbed your gun and then what?
I shot twice, and I figured out it was him after I shot him, and he told me I had shot him.
Did you see him?
The bedroom door was closed. I had blackout curtains on the windows. No.
Was the TV still on at that
The
point?
TV was still on, but I couldn't. All the doors were closed. I have blackout curtains on the windows because of my migraines, and I was asleep.
Were you in the bed?
I was in the bed.
Where was he?
He was in the doorway.
He was standing in the doorway?
He was standing in the doorway.
So that door was open,
No, it wasn't. It was closed when I went to bed.
But I'm saying it was open.
It was swung open.
Okay.
And that, I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I just grabbed the gun like he's always told me to.
And then what happened after that? He said what did he say? He said you
I shot the gun twice. And the second time he said I shot him. And I realized it was him when I heard him speak. And I grabbed the towels and tried to figure out where I had shot him. And then I called 911 and they told me to put the towels where it was. I couldn't see where it came out anywhere. So I put pressure on it like they told me to, and they told me that if it got too full of blood to put another towel on it. So I grabbed another towel and put it on it. He was breathing. He needed a chest tube. I know that. He was breathing. But I told them to hurry when they got here. I told them he needed a chest tube because it was stuck in his lung, and he was talking to me, and he was talking to me when they came in.
What was he saying?
He told me to take my hand off his back and keep putting pressure because it hurt being on his back. So I took my hand off his back and I kept putting pressure on the hole.
Was there anybody else here?
No.
At that time, are you sure there was nobody else
No.
here besides the two?
It was just the two of us. His son had left a while back. I heard his truck leave, but I was still out on the back porch and he was still up in the shop. When I got up to go into the bedroom, he was still up in the shop.
But your son left before you went to bed.
His son left
before
before I went to bed.
That's the first lie that really catches the deputy's attention. When she first called 911, Cheryl said her gun had accidentally gone off, but now her story suddenly changes. This time she claims there may have been an intruder in the house. She says everything was dark, and believing someone had broken in, she fired 2 shots, the shots that actually hit Luke. And while Cheryl insists she tried to help him after realizing what had happened, that's something investigators can't confirm. At this point, all they know for certain is that her explanation keeps shifting, and each version raises more questions than the last.
I've only been married for 4.5 years. We've only been together for 6 years.
You know, when y'all were having a disagreement, did it get physical?
No, it was all by text message. We never even saw each other.
So when's the last time that you all actually physically talked to each other?
Yesterday around 10:30.
10:30 at night?
No, 10:30 in the morning.
All right, yesterday at 10:30 a.m., you weren't at work?
I was on my way from the rehab center at Pinewood to the Women's Imaging Center, and I called him in between.
Okay, so you talked on the phone.
And told him that I really didn't have a lot of time to talk, and that I was headed to the Women's Imaging Center, which stays really busy. And then, and everything was okay when we talked.
Now, have there been other nights where you would go to bed before he would come to bed?
No, we always went to bed together.
Always.
Unless there was an argument, we always went to bed together.
Okay. So say y'all had an argument prior to this one, you went to bed and he would come in, right? After you'd already been asleep?
Either that or I would go to bed in the spare bedroom.
Okay. But had there ever been another time where he would come in the bedroom and go to sleep when you had already been asleep?
Only last night. And I had taken my Klonopin and I had taken cough medicine with codeine in it because ever since I had the second COVID shot, I had a dry cough in the middle of the night. So but I didn't take that tonight. I took it last night. And I was sound asleep whenever he got home. I opened a text message this morning telling me that his bike was broke down at his friend's seats and he was trying to get it running.
So this evening when you were asleep in bed, what woke you up?
The door slamming open and yelling.
What was you yelling?
I don't even know what he was yelling. I just heard yelling and the door slamming.
You couldn't make out whose voice it was yelling?
At that time, I couldn't know.
Did you say anything back to him?
After he said that I shot him?
No, when he was yelling.
No, I just grabbed the gun because all I heard was yelling, and I was in a daze. I was already asleep.
So you didn't scream or anything like that?
No.
You didn't make any sound. You just grabbed the gun.
Well, I screamed, but I mean, not loud. I grabbed the gun, and that was the first reaction, was to reach over because he has me lay it on the nightstand so that I can put my hand on it.
And then once you realized that it was him, did you meet
When he said, "You shot me," and that's when I knew it was him, because I could tell his voice.
And then what did you do after that?
I jumped up and went and tried to find where I had shot him, and I couldn't see anything. All I could see was blood.
Did you turn the light on?
I turned the light on. I lifted his arm, and that's where I saw it. And I called 911, and I grabbed towels or grabbed a towel and started putting it on. But it didn't see where it came out. And I started I was putting pressure on the hole while I was talking to 911, and she said if it got too wet to grab another towel. So I went ahead and grabbed another towel and came back.
What light did you turn on in the room?
The bedroom light.
The switch on the wall?
Uh-huh.
Did you turn that on before you knelt down and looked at him, or did you look at him first?
He was standing up.
He was still standing up?
He was standing up, and I ran and turned the light on when I realized it was him. And I was looking, trying to figure out where the blood was coming from. So,
okay, and
because I looked, and it wasn't coming from his chest or anywhere else. It was like it looked like it was coming from his arm.
In most cases, it's simply not possible for someone to eat a gunshot and still be standing, especially not after losing a lot of blood. But according to Cheryl, when she shot Luke, he was still on his feet. And keep in mind, this was after she had called 911 and tried to press a towel against the wound, something no one could realistically do while the victim is still standing. But once she realizes what she just said, she changes her story once again.
And then he was standing up at first, and then what happened? Did he eventually get on the ground, or what?
He lay down on the ground, and I called 911.
In the bedroom?
Yes. I called 911, and they told me what to do. And I put it on there as fast as I could and held the pressure as tight as I could. He was still talking to me when the ambulance pulled up. Because I had one hand on there and one hand on his back, trying to make sure I could get as much pressure as I could. And he told me to move my hand off of his back. So I moved my hand off of his back and just started pushing with both hands.
Did he say anything else?
He said he couldn't breathe. And I couldn't make him breathe. And I hang his bed just a little bit longer.
Cheryl, no, these are just questions that I need to ask you, okay? What specifically were you all arguing about? Was it another female? Was he talking about maybe divorce? Are you talking about divorce? Or did any of that stuff come up?
No.
Okay. Nothing like that.
No. Can they show them step away?
Yeah. And this is just stuff that we need to gather for this.
We live an alternative lifestyle where we're with other couples, other individuals, since I started menopause last summer or summer before last, and we finally got my hormones and everything straight. He suggested that we go into an open marriage.
When was this roughly?
I know it was full season because that's when he suggested it.
So before, when was that? Sure. Last year? So, and before that, y'all didn't have an alternative?
Before that, we were in an alternative lifestyle. We were in that 6 months after we were together. Because I was in it by myself. And then he was in it by himself.
Okay.
And when we got together, we decided that for at least the first 6 months that we would spend our time focusing on our relationship. During that time, I donated a kidney. I was healing from that.
To him? Or
No.
To, okay.
No. To the security director at Piedmont Noonan. Our security manager at Piedmont Noonan. So we got through my healing from that November, December. I went back to work in January. He asked me to marry him on my birthday in April.
And what year was it?
2016. Because we were in a rental house because his ex-wife had this house. We were in a rental house and we moved into that rental house together, and that's where we got married. I don't know.
Okay, so after y'all spent your 6 months or whatever, then y'all went into an open marriage?
No.
No?
No. We just went into the lifestyle.
Okay. And so the argument...
And we went back into the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. So the argument was over one of y'all want to do that, one of you not, or the people that you were with, or what?
No, Monday I decided that since we went into an open marriage, not the lifestyle, but an open marriage, where he would see other people, I would see other people. Monday we got into an argument about it, and I said, let's just don't do this anymore. Ever since we started the open marriage, it's been an issue. And everything was okay Monday night. He sent a message to the women that he was talking to, the friends of ours that he was talking to, and told them that we decided that wasn't a good idea. And then he, on Tuesday morning, we talked about it some more, and we decided we would try it again. So I sent a message to the two women that he had sent a message to, apologizing to them and telling them that it was just me overreacting and that everything was okay.
In reality, things didn't play out the way Cheryl claims. On Monday, June 21st, she told Luke she no longer wanted to continue their open marriage lifestyle. Naturally, this angered him, but after an apology, they agreed to give it another try. Later, tensions rose again over texts as Cheryl had asked Luke if she could see another man, and when he questioned her plans, she replied with a casual LOL, something Luke found deeply upsetting. And it wasn't just that. He also told a friend he believed Cheryl had revealed too much about their private arrangements, possibly even to the man she had donated a kidney to. Later, after cooling off, Luke wrote to Cheryl saying he was ready to talk, but Cheryl put off the conversation until after work, letting the tension go even longer, ultimately leading to his death.
Cheryl, I just got another question for you. What was your husband wearing when
He was naked.
do you know why he was naked?
Probably because he got grease all over his clothes and took them off in the lunchroom.
Okay. Was he wet or anything? I mean, Was his hair wet?
Sweaty.
Okay, sweaty.
When I got to him, it was sweaty, but I couldn't tell that when I.
Is there a porch light or something that we could turn on? Is
It's
there a
really
light?
bright.
Is it really bright?
Yeah.
You want to turn it on?
Yeah.
If
For a
open
few
the
minutes,
door,
because the bugs will probably eat us up out here.
It's the second light.
There we go. Okay.
So
Do you know why why there would be some water or something on your side of the bed? Why would it be wet? Do you know?
Because I knocked over a glass of water.
Okay. Was there water on the stand?
Huh? Yes.
Okay, so there'll be a cup in there.
There should
the room?
be.
Okay. All right. That's why the bed's wet.
Yes.
Why it was wet. Okay. All right. So
Sean,
Yeah.
something to play on. So basically, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. The discussion was they were in this open document or whatever. Who was more comfortable about he was more comfortable about sharing that with other people.
Okay.
And he's also indicating that she was in that type of a relationship also. She didn't want that shared around. She wanted it to be private. So that's what the argument was about.
One key piece of evidence that contradicts Cheryl's story is that Luke was found completely undressed at the time of the murder. Moreover, Cheryl claims that the bedroom was wet, but it wasn't just water, because when deputies searched the room, they found 2 adult toys and a bottle of lubricant. This strongly suggests Luke had been in bed with Cheryl when the shooting happened, not that he had just walked into the bedroom and she shot him.
Every argument that we've had, we don't fight because he's never laid a hand on me. But every argument that we've had has been about that.
like, was he upset because you were with, I guess, men? I mean, was he getting jealous? Is that, or was it the other way around?
No, I mean,
It was more about you want it to be more private.
correct.
Is that correct?
Right. And that's what we had addressed several times, and he was working on keeping his mouth shut and not sharing things. He would drink too much and then he would talk about things. And he was supposed to be working on that. He would talk about, I would try to share just an everyday conversation with him. I'm sorry. I would try to share just an everyday conversation with him, and then I would find out that he turned around and would say something to the person that I had told him I'd spoken to and share that conversation with him. As husbands and wives do, we share things. But not everybody wants everything shared. And he was supposed to be working on not doing that.
Okay. So last night, did you take Klonopin like you did tonight?
Every
Did
night.
you have a drink last night? Were you drinking last night?
I had a Captain Morgan's and Diet Dr. Pepper.
Okay. And your Klonopin and your normal routine, went to bed. He came in, you didn't hear him come in the other night. Okay.
No. I mean, I had taken it, it was still daylight when I got in bed last night. Because I was just like, I'm here by myself. There's nobody to talk to, nothing to do. I'm just going to take my medicine and go to bed because I've got to be at work early in the morning. And I took my medicine, turned the TV on so I'd have some kind of noise, and got in the bed.
Does he normally on the bed with no clothes on?
Yes, we sleep with no clothes on.
Okay. All right. So you say that he took his clothes off in the laundry room, I guess.
I would assume so. I haven't
What
been
was he
to the
wearing?
laundry
What was he
room.
wearing today?
I don't know.
You don't remember what he had on?
He always wears his work khakis, but I don't know what shirt he had on or anything like that because I didn't see him. He was in the shop when I got home, and
So
he was still in the shop when I went to bed.
When you were in the bed this evening, did you have any clothes on?
No.
So when did you put your clothes on?
When I knew 911 was coming, I was holding that on him and putting clothes on at the same time.
Where did you get your clothes from?
The chair in there that That's where I always put my clothes when I take them off to get to bed. Yes.
Did you touch him before you got your clothes?
I'm sure I did because I was trying to figure out where the blood was coming from. And then while I was on the phone with 911, I was like holding that with one hand and putting my clothes on with the other because I knew that the EMTs were about to be here and everybody was about to bust up in the house.
According to Cheryl, Luke was the one who often talked about their open marriage lifestyle, but in reality it was the other way around. And that contradiction doesn't come from some distant rumor or secondhand story. It comes from someone who was actually living inside that house. Luke's son Levi, the one person who saw their daily lives up close, would later describe a version of events that painted a very different picture of how things really were.
Well, I will go ahead and tell you that something had not been right a couple days before the fact, because I told him, I looked at him, just his whole demeanor during the day was not himself. I said, "You're here." I said, "But you're not here."
You could tell he was off a little bit.
I was like, something's up. And, he acknowledged that something was up, but he didn't want to talk about it. So we just left it at that and continued. But, we've been working all day. Come on. It was like, let's work on the bike a little bit. So I was like, cool, let's do it. So we're doing it. And normally when she gets home, that was my cue to bounce. Been hanging out all day. I had some errands around, go to the bank, grocery store, all that good jazz. So we've been hanging out probably. We probably got to the house about 5. Hung out for about an hour. 6 o'clock, rolled around, loaded my phone. Like, okay, I'm gonna go. She rolled up, and she was in the refrigerator in the garage. And I told her, I said, I left a bottle of wild turkey on the counter. I said, I couldn't find a shot glasses. I said, if you don't mind putting it back in the freezer for me. And she said, okay. And then I just let, see you. And I walked off and told him bye. And then I got in the truck probably around 6:05, 6:10.
Okay.
And left.
Okay.
So, and I was aware of all that, we were all open, whatever, and it wasn't a problem. So, I knew about the whole situation and what was going on. But from what I understand, as you probably seen from the phone, there was some conversations and some texts and some copy and pasted messages. And why didn't you screenshot that? Why'd you copy and paste that? Between him and Cheryl, you probably seen all those messages.
Well, I hadn't went through their phones yet.
Okay.
I have not done that yet. I did pull all their Facebook stuff, and I've seen some talk of that kind of stuff in their Facebook, some parties and stuff that they went to. I've seen stuff like that.
Well, the long story short, and I don't know the other people, but long story short, Cheryl Luke had this one girl he wanted to see, and Cheryl never really liked her from the jump. She was always kind of like, that's a no-go. Well, he decided somehow that's what he was doing. And so she decided that she was going to book her an appointment or whatever you want to call it for the day. Well, then wound up double booking to see 2 people on the same day and told him, well, I'll just go see both of them in the same day. And then so they didn't talk for a couple days. And then Luke was like, okay, let's sit down and talk. We need to resolve this like adults, And I think that's what they were supposed to be doing that afternoon. So.
Yeah, I do know that it was kind of one day Cheryl wanted to address the problem and your dad didn't. He chose to go ride. And then the next day he wanted to address the problem and she didn't necessarily want to address it. And then that was the day that everything rolled downhill.
I don't like certain people. And Cheryl has never said a cross word to me. Always been helpful. Never had a problem. But I will tell you when I told her about the bottle being out of the freezer, the look she kind of gave me, I was kind of she didn't really say anything. She acknowledged that she heard me, but she didn't really say anything, which I thought was a little off. But, I mean, I didn't think nothing of it. You know, bad day, whatever, you don't really want to talk. Cool, I'm like that all the time. So, but.
Levi lays the story out plainly. He says it was actually Cheryl who didn't like Luke meeting one of her friends, even though they were in an open relationship. Then, almost as if to make Luke jealous, she went ahead and arranged sexual encounters with 2 different men that very same day. And it didn't stop there. A family acquaintance later told detectives he had received sexually explicit messages from Cheryl roughly 40 minutes before the 911 call, despite the fact that the 2 of them hadn't spoken in nearly 3 years. By the time Cheryl was finally brought into the interrogation room, 12 hours after her first questioning on the porch, the detectives already knew the truth, but they still want to hear it from her.
I wasn't trying to hit him.
Okay. So where was he when you fired the second shot?
Still, he had turned around and come back in the doorway.
Turned around from where?
From the kitchen doorway, from the doorway. He was still in this area right here.
Okay, so you had already fired the first shot, correct?
I fired the first shot.
Okay.
And then he started moving back, like he was coming back in there to drag me out of there. So I fired the second shot, and I was trying to shoot the wall. I was never trying to shoot him. And that's why when he said I hit him, I had no idea where I could have hit him.
Were you standing or were you still in the bed when you were firing the rounds?
By the time I shot the second one, I was standing.
Okay.
And where were you standing? If your bed is there from your nightstand, where were you standing on the ring?
Right here.
Okay.
On this mat.
All right. So when you fired the first shot that went over his head, was he trying to leave the room, or what was he doing at that point in time when you had fired that shot?
He was going after something. And I don't know what he was going after.
Did he say anything to you?
He was mad, and he was screaming and yelling at me and telling me to get out of that bed and go sleep in the other bed if I wasn't going to talk to it, if I wasn't going to get up and talk. At that point, I wasn't where I could get up and talk. I'd gotten past that point. It was senseless for us to talk at that point. And I was feeling nauseous. That's why I took the Finnegan on top of the Klonopin. And I just wanted to be left alone. And he wasn't having it. And he was dragging me out of the bed. And I put the stuff that I had gotten to put in the refrigerator and finished the last one and threw it in the trash can in the kitchen. And went and brushed my teeth and took my medicine and turned on my heating pad and got in bed. Because I was already starting to get a migraine from being upset and drinking too.
So when he came in and swung the door open, what did he specifically say?
Get up. He screamed, get up.
Did he turn the light on when he came in?
No. He never turned the light on. The light didn't get turned on until I turned it on to try and find where it had hit him.
Now, when you and I spoke earlier, I had asked you, remember I asked you if you guys were ever physical with each other, if he ever put his hands on you, and at that point you told me.
He's not out of anger.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
He gets turned on and very aggressive when he gets turned on. And so I I've gotten used to it. It's not a big deal anymore, but he likes to real hard and leave marks on my.
Did he physically get on the bed or get on top of you?
He did not get up on top of me. He ripped the pillow out from between my legs and started to pull me out of the bed. And he said if I wasn't going to get up and talk to him, that I was going to get up and go to the other bed. And
how did he make it? If he came in and you're laying down and he snatches the pillow between your legs, how did we get from that to him being back to the entrance of the bedroom and you standing on that mat shooting him? Like, how did that distance occur?
he went back out of the bedroom to go get something else, and then was on his way back into the bedroom.
Is that when the door was flung open when he came in the room the second time?
The door was flung open when he came in the room the first time.
Okay. So how did he come in the second time?
He came stomping in the second time.
Okay.
And
that's when I grabbed it and shot over here. And he became more angered and aggressive, so I shot toward this way. And I was trying to hit the wall behind the TV. I had no idea that it was that close to him. And I was just trying to hit the wall behind the TV so that it would scare him off or make him leave. He's my best friend. He's all I have.
In the end, justice was served, and Cheryl Howell Coe was convicted in 2025 of malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault for the killing of her husband, Luther Luke Lee Coe III. After the jury found her guilty, she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The conviction came after prosecutors showed that she had shot Luke during an argument, and then gave investigators several conflicting stories about what happened that night. Today, she remains incarcerated in a Georgia state prison, bringing a final end to a case that began with a frantic 911 call and ended with a jury rejecting her claims that the shooting was an accident. Thank you for watching today's video. Whether you're new here or have been with us for a while, check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here, or one of my newest uploads right here.